Hello crocheters, welcome to Crazy Cool Crochet. This is Sylvia, and today I am bringing you this Crochet Blanket Cocoon Shrug. So it makes sense to be using a blanket yarn. So here I'm using Bernat Blanket yarn, a number 6, so super bulky. And the hook is a P as in paw, or an 11.5 millimeter, and you'll need some scissors. Now you will notice that this tutorial is going to be quite different from my typical tutorials, which are usually, I would say 95% of the time, I do pretty much line by line instructions. This one is so simple, I'm going to cut it down and do this a little bit different. Now I usually save this little speech for the end of the video, however, a great majority of people don't watch all the way to the end. The great majority don't watch most of it, which is a problem for my channel. It's a problem for me. This is one of the reasons I'm starting to make my tutorials shorter. Most of them still include, again, 95%, still include everything you need to know. This one will also include everything you need to know. But rather than go line by line, stitch by stitch, I need to cut it down. And let me explain right off the bat why. And I have explained many times in my previous videos, but again, the vast majority of people only watch from 2.5 to 3 minutes. Well, not even 3 minutes of the video, no matter how long it is or how short it is. And this is a problem for YouTube. They assume because people are only watching for 2.5 minutes that they don't like my videos, which of course is a problem for me because this is my only income. Crazy Cool Crochet is my only income, not just YouTube, but I also have got my Etsy shop. So these videos earn me next to nothing, believe it or not. I know you've heard all the stories about YouTubers who make tens of thousands of dollars a month. That is not the case here. So it just doesn't make sense to be putting out 20, 30-minute videos if I am getting practically nothing in return from YouTube. You all are wonderful to me. Your comments are so heartwarming. I love you guys. YouTube, not so much. Okay, so, and what is also helpful, aside from watching the videos all the way through, is a thumbs up. But to support Crazy Cool Crochet, the business, I would so much appreciate if you would go over to my Etsy shop, which is Crazy Cool Crochet us.etsy.com. I'm just showing you the stitches from a swatch. So for a size small medium, you want to start with a chain of 81. Then your first row will be a row of single crochets. You will start in the second chain from the hook and then work a regular single crochet into each chain. At the end of the row, you will chain 2 and turn. Now we're going to work with half double crochets. And for this pattern, we are working into that very first space, right next to that turning chain, half double. Okay, I'm not teaching you the stitches here. I'm assuming you know your basic stitches, okay? But half double, you would yarn over, 3 loops on the hook, pull through all 3. Now do take care that you are working under the 2 strands that look like a chain at the top. You're working under the 2 strands. Right, now for this row only, when you get to the end, you can enter your last half double into the space. just for this row, then chain 2 and turn. Now again, work into that very first stitch. There's the 2 strands that look like a chain. So you're not going into the big space. You're going under those 2 strands for your half double. Do that all the way across the row. A half double into each stitch. Okay, now this time, this row and each row thereafter, you will enter the last one into the turning chain. So rather than going into the space, go ahead and go into the turning chain, chain 2, turn, and repeat that row. And that is your pattern for the entire panel. Half double crochets all the way across. Now, if you were working with the 81 chains, foundation chain, you will have 80 half double crochets. All right, now you would have worked your panel for 25 rows. And that will give you about 25 inches in length. Now, this design, the blanket cocoon, is meant to be extra long so that you can wrap yourself up in it like a blanket. That's the whole point. So, you will notice from the photos that this fits me super long. That's both by design and because I am super short. I'm under 5 feet tall, so it's going to be super long on me anyway. But you go ahead and measure, keeping in mind we are going to add another, I would say about 5 inches of a border. So whatever length you've got, you're going to add more length with a border. So 25 rows is generally what you are working for. The next step, I'm going to show you. Now, that whole panel does not fit on the screen. It just does not. So I'm working up a little bit of a miniature version. Okay, so when you get, and this is not necessarily proportional exactly, but when you get your panel completed, the next step is to fold this in half so that you've got the wrong side now is facing up. Okay, so that's the right side. Fold it in half. And then we're going to seam along the sides here. And that will give you your armhole over here. So for this panel, I worked up 6 inches. I seamed 6 inches, and then that will leave the opening. And the opening can be small because it's really just for your wrist. Okay, so seam 6 inches. I used a slightly smaller hook. Turn it this way. And use just regular slip stitches. Okay, so attach your yarn, go through both panels using slip stitches, and then leave your opening. Now, after you have seamed your sides, you will turn this right side out. And then open it this way. Now you can see that cocoon forming. So there's your armhole openings. Now we're going to work a border. So all you need to do is right side facing, insert your yarn either at the back of the neck or in a seam. Attach your yarn. Then work a row of single crochets, and you're just going into approximately every stitch or space. Try this on before you do the border so that you can see this will be quite wide. and it will tighten up as you work the border. But if it is really falling off of you, then go ahead and skip as you're working your single crochets. Skip a stitch every now and again. You don't have to skip too many. Now when you come back around, you're going to chain one and turn this. So now you're going to be working this way, and you're going to be working back loop only, single crochets. Back loop, single crochet. There's your 2 strands. Go into the center. You're working the back loop, single crochet. Easy, easy, easy. Okay, so again, work all the way around. And if that is still way, way too wide, go ahead and skip every now and again. When you come back to where you started, once again, you're going to chain one, turn, and do another row. Here's the border. So you will have worked 7 or 8 rows. Okay, it's up to you however long and wide you want this to end up. Okay, so again, because this is supposed to be a blanket cocoon, I made it extra long, but you go ahead and decide how many rows of the border you want. There's the armhole opening. This is the front. Now to finish this off, you're going to do the same border around the armhole opening. Okay, so you're attach the yarn right side facing, attach the yarn at the seam, work a row of single crochets going around, chain one, turn, then work rows of back loop only single crochets. And I worked for 4 rows for the border. And that's it. You're done. Okay, I want so much to show you the entire blanket cocoon on the table. So I'm hand holding the camera. So this is it, you guys. I hope you like this. It is so cozy. The blanket yarn is so thick and so soft. This is just perfect for wrapping yourself up like a cocoon. So again, thumbs up if you like this. And head over to crazycoolcrochet.us.etsy.com for the written pattern. And we'll see you on the next project. Thank you for watching.